Hi, everybody, and welcome to Word Affinity, a podcast which has everything to do with words. I'm your host, Sarah, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about Encanto. So, I'm sure that most of us know what Encanto is because it just won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature, and it also was one of the biggest things of the year 2021. I'm not gonna take a lot of time and describe the movie because if you haven't watched it, I think that you should because it's awesome and you'll probably need to watch it anyway because everyone has and we are sheeples. Okay, so here's my review on Encanto, the movie where people don't talk about Bruno but sing about him. Now, the first thing you should know is that I never intended to watch this movie because it just looked too colorful. But then Sunday boredom took over and I just clicked on it for my little brother. And the thing that I didn't realize was that Encanto would become the center of all our discussions after that. No, really, we couldn't stop talking about this movie. Now, Encanto has nothing special in it. The plot is just like most Disney movies. Character faces problems, starts crying, finds a magic candle, and bam! They get a whole family of people with cool magical powers and the ability to save Titanic from the iceberg. Okay, so it is a bit different. There is no creepy prince who randomly wanders in forests and around towers and discovers sleeping or dead women. But other than that, it's just another magical family movie. So, what is the difference between this and other Disney movies with families in them? The answer is everything. So, the movie starts and you meet a few people of the Madrigal family. Yes, the family's name is Madrigal, not Encanto. Encanto simply means charm or enchantment. Now, the Madrigal family has a lot of people, so we'll just quickly list them off. We have the narcissistic matriarch of the family, Abuela, her two daughters, Julieta, who can heal anyone with her food, Peppa, who can control the weather, and her son Bruno, who is a seer, but we don't talk about him. Not to mention, they're triplets. Then there are the three kids of Julieta, Isabella, the Miss Perfect of the family, Luisa, the strong one, and Mirabel, the 15-year-old protagonist and the only one without a gift. We also have their cousins, Peppa's kids, Camilo, a 15-year-old shapeshifter, Dolores, who has super hearing, and Antonio, who can talk to animals. And then we have two characters who are just there, Felix, Peppa's husband, and Augustine, Julieta's husband. This is one thing that I really like about the movie. Instead of having 2 to 3 primary characters, Encanto has a dozen. They made a whole bunch of bananas. I'm sorry for that. But this was one thing Lin-Manuel Miranda had to fight for with Disney Animation. In turn, Encanto was the hardest film to date for heads of animation because they were asked to fully develop a dozen characters as opposed to other animated films which primarily feature 2 or 3 characters out of a large cast. But this also helps to give the movie more character because there are a lot of characters to give character to. See what I did there? Another great addition to the movie is Mirabel's sisters singing because each song is a cathartic release for them and they just tell Mirabel how everything isn't how it seems. Because in the starting, she feels as if she's the only one without a gift and she's sad because she thinks that she has the worst of the lot and her siblings are so much smarter and stronger and more beautiful than her. But as the movie moves forward, Luisa in Sophie's Pressure and Isabella in What Else Can I Do, they all just sing and they just tell her that how they actually feel under the fake images they have for themselves. And Mirabel is the only lucky one because she doesn't have to do things and make that fake image for herself because she doesn't have a gift. So she doesn't have to hide and she can show her true self which they can't. And Mirabel also helps them blossom into their true imperfect selves after the songs. Also, the love-hate relationship between Isabella and Mirabel is a great addition to the movie because the ways they subtly irritate each other are super relatable to most people with siblings. Also, the diversity in the movie is great. I grew up watching white princesses like Belle, Aurora and Cinderella and seeing this inclusion is really cool because I'm not white and it makes me feel included. Seeing people who don't have skin as white as snow on screens is something that means a lot to me just because it makes me feel less like an outsider and more like I belong. So now the next thing that I wanted to discuss was my favorite character in the movie. Although I don't think anybody predicted that we would fall in love with an extremely out of sync, magical, not to mention fictional Colombian family, Disney proved us otherwise. Now, if I have to choose my favorite character in the movie, well, let's say it's not the easiest thing in the world. I love all the characters with the whole of my heart. But if I have to choose my favorite, well, let's say favorites. Because they are Bruno, Mirabel, Camilo, and Mariano. Yeah, I have a penchant for the awkward characters in the movie. But you can't deny that all of them have extremely lovable personalities. Not to mention that they are fiercely loyal. I would probably say that Bruno is my favorite because I absolutely love his quiet, shy, comical personality. And he's also the most selfless and he's the coolest. Now, on to the next part, which is songs. And I think they are the best part of Encanto. And one of the main reasons that Encanto was so well received was because of its insanely catchy songs that have broken multiple records in a matter of months. So now, let's talk about Bruno. But we don't talk about Bruno. Sorry for that. So that was We Don't Talk About Bruno, the runaway hit from the movie. Hit number 1 on the Billboard 100 charts and is only the second Disney song to achieve this. The previous one being A Whole New World from Aladdin 29 years ago. It broke the all-time record for the most credited singers on a Hot 100 chart topper and is the studio's first ever original song to top the UK singles chart. It has also been certified platinum in the United States. And you know what? Not surprised. It's a bop, which is accompanied by an amazing choreographed dance performance by the Madrigal family and their rats. I'm not kidding. Other than We Don't Talk About Bruno, we have an amazing number of songs from the movie, the Oscar-nominated Dos Oruguitas, So Face Pressure, What Else Can I Do, and All of You, which is my second favorite. Now, I could end it here, but I'm just gonna do another dramatic reading of this small thing that I wrote because I just love that dramatic voice and it's so fun to do. So, let's start. Encanto is an emotional roller coaster, one which taught us a lot while we rode with it. Most of the times, what we think about a person is wrong, and we shouldn't judge someone if we haven't stood in their shoes. No one is wholly right or wrong. All of us are imperfect. We are caterpillars. We have to grow apart and come back. Forward, we will continue, finding miracles, breaking chrysalises. We have to fly and find our own future. That was fun. So, that was all for today. If you like this podcast, make sure to rate, review, and follow us. If you're listening on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.